How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some insane Ultra League spice sent into the channel by fellow content creator Ripley. Now, before we get into the battles, I want to say a couple of things, guys. First of all, if you're wondering why I sound like a 90-year-old woman who has smoked for 85 years, that is because I am sick. In my last video, you might have heard me mention that I was getting sick. Well, I am officially sick. I've got something going on, and unfortunately, I am actually going to be out of town this weekend. I'm going on an extended, like, 4-day weekend, little mini vacation, so I'm pre-recording these battles on Wednesday afternoon, and I'm just in the brunt of being sick. So I apologize for the sniffling, the congestion, all the things that I always apologize for anyway for my allergies, but we're going to bear through it here. I am going to be pre-recording a couple of videos, and this is going to be the first of some spicy content that I received earlier in the season that I didn't get to. At this point, I'm kind of just over the Master League, and we'll see if I decide to play any catch-up or not. But in this first set of pre-recorded videos, we're going to take a look at some awesome Ultra League spice featuring a Shiny Galarian Slowbro. I definitely have never seen this thing in action before, and it is running Focus Blast. And we're also going to be taking a look at Hydreigon with Flash Cannon as the closer. So some really cool looking battles here by Ripley. Make sure you check him out. Let's get right into him here. And on the lead, we have a Pidgeot into this Shiny Galarian Slowbro. And this is not the worst matchup ever. Does throw on CMP to a potential Brave Bird. Throws the Surf. Is running Surf as well. Very interesting moveset here. But I'm hoping that we will see some Focus Blast land in this battle. And of course, the opponent just baits with the Feather Dance. And now I'm going to pivot into the Safe Switch, which is a level 50 Hundo Umbreon. And I believe this is just a Feather Dance. And it is just a Feather Dance. But this is really unfortunate because Umbreon already doesn't hit super hard. And now after that debuff, these moves are really not going to be doing that much. So yeah, the opponent's going to stay in here, probably going to be banking some energy. There's a ton of lag here, and does get the Foul Play. It looks like the opponent did not throw their energy, and now they're throwing their energy. So I guess the Umbreon was on its 3 cycle. For Snarls, it is 4-3-4-3, and the opponent was on their 6 cycle, so outpaced by 1 turn. And now going for the last resort here, just in case the Foul Play wasn't enough to KO, and it's still not enough, and they get off another move. Is this going to be another Feather Dance? Is the opponent only able to go for Feather Dances? And no, they actually do Brave Bird there, but it does not KO, and does retain Switch advantage and a Shield advantage, and there is a Cresselia in the back here. And Cresselia really isn't the best answer for this Slowbro, actually, because the Grass moves and the Moonblast are going to be resisted, unless they're on Future Sight, which would be neutral, and they're on Moonblast. So the opponent is probably either core broken by this or just doesn't know what typing this Slowbro is whatsoever, because Cresselia is definitely not an answer. Now they're going for Grass Nuts. That does absolutely nothing, but unfortunately, this Slowbro is just running the non-stab Surfs, and these are just not going to be hitting that hard. So I think at this point, you probably pivot back into the Umbreon. I absolutely love that play. Make them waste all their energy, and then going to bring back in the Slowbro. Could have waited out the switch clock there. Probably would have been a good idea, just because you don't know what they have in the back. You definitely don't want to give whatever they have in the back an energy lead against the Hydreigon. And there is a Swampert in the back, and this should be game over, because Hydreigon will be resisting those Hydro Cannons, and unfortunately does get farmed down, but I think the Dragon Breath here is just going to be too oppressive, unless he gets baited by a Hydro and then gets Earthquake, but going to call the bait here. It is just a Hydro Cannon. Very nice bait call. And with that bait call, I think this game should be won. This is just a Hydro, I believe. Maybe not. I really wasn't counting that much. And it is just a Hydro, but should just be able to farm all the way down here. And throws the Brutal Swing just before they make the next Hydro. But they're not going to make an Earthquake. And one Hydro Cannon should not KO. And actually was at the back-to-back there. So it doesn't end up mattering anyway. Very nicely played in Game 1. Very long battle as well. Oh my gosh, that went down to the timer. And in the next battle, we have a Shadow Ampharos in the lead. And this is not great because the thing is probably running Brutal Swing. And Shadow Brutal Swing is going to be hitting extremely hard on this Slowbro. And they're actually just on Thunder Punch, it looks like. So definitely should be able to let the next one go. Very nice move timing here. Throwing just before that Volt Switch registers. And are they going to respect a bigger move? Yes, they are. And now pivots into the Umbreon. And they switch out, so they're probably not running Focus Blast. And unfortunately, the Umbreon there is met with a Tapu Fini, which is not great. But at the very least, we're not seeing this against the Hydreigon, because that would be absolutely brutal. So Gonna just be spamming out these last resorts. Umbreon in the Ultra League, guys, is just so bulky. This is just not that bad for the Umbreon, really. It can tank these moves for days. One Moonblast, definitely not going to be KOing. And this is going to be a very difficult Water Gun farm down for the opponent. Actually going to bait here. I really don't agree with this play, to be honest. It's just safer to go for the last resort. Excuse me. As you see, that foul play does not KO, but at the very least, did get this Tapu Fini low and did draw it out, and now Slowbro can come in and farm down, and the opponent gives up switch advantage. That is definitely not the play, because now he can bring in the Hydreigon here, and should be able to fully wall the moves here, unless they're on Focus Blast. Are they on Focus Blast here? No, just another Thunder Punch, and should be able to tank one more if he wants to, and farm all the way down. And we're going to see what's in the back. Hopefully it's something that the Hydreigon can Flash Cannon. I would absolutely love to see that. And let's see what the opponent wants to do here. And they have a Giratina in back. And this should just be game over here. I think he will make 2 Brutal Swings here. And even if he doesn't, these Dragon Breaths are going to do so much damage that they should... Yeah, they're actually on... initially I thought they were on Dragon Breath, but they're actually on Shadow Claw. So yeah, this is just game over. Doesn't throw the energy into the Tapu Fini. Comes in, farms all the way down. And the opponent realizes that that is a game, set, and match. And well played. So next battle, we have a Togekiss lead. This is a very nice lead, and the opponent is staying in. And they bring in a Golem, and oh my gosh, are they going to respect this Focus Blast? Do they know? Normally these things run Psychic and Sludge Bomb, and no! The opponent shields. Oh no. I really, really wanted that to land, guys. I thought for sure that they were going to no-shield that. I guess they could have been respecting the Surf there, but man, that is just... absolutely heartbreaking. And now brings in the Hydreigon. Makes sense because you definitely don't want to see this thing against the Togekiss and just going to let it go down. It looks like, is this a Rock Blast? And actually barely lives it. Yes, he has the Flash Cannon. Please bring in that Togekiss. Please no-shield this Togekiss. I have to see this Flash Cannon land, and it does land. It one-shots the Togekiss. You absolutely love to see it. And now this is just game over, folks, because Walrein, yeah, Walrein is just not going to be beating an Umbreon in the one shield. And that's a GG. So we did get to see the nuke land. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the Focus Blast land, but we got to see a Dragon-type Flash Cannon of Fairy. And we have a Cresselia lead here in the next battle. And Cresselia, again, unless they're running Future Sight, this is a very bad matchup for the Cresselia because all of their charge moves are going to be very heavily resisted. And the Surfs and Poison Jabs actually are adding up quite a bit here on the Cresselia. And let's see what they're on. They're on Grass Knot, and that just does absolutely nothing. And here, I think you can just massively overfarm and come out of this matchup with some energy stored. Probably can just overfarm a ton here. And no, just going to throw it right away. I would like to see an overfarm here because this is not going to KO. But either way, just going to Poison Jab farm down. It can very easily no-shield everything here. And what does the opponent have in the back? I really hope we get to see something get Focus Blasted, guys. That would just be absolutely incredible. And it's a Swampert. And going to just pivot here. I like this play. No reason to stay in there and let that Swampert farm up a ton of energy, because that would be extremely, extremely rough. And yeah, the Swampert here is just going to be spamming out these moves, but they're just not going to be hitting that hard against the very, very bulky Umbreon here. And let's see, is he just going to go straight foul play here? It looks like he's just going to be going straight foul play. This is such a boring matchup, guys. The XL Ultra League is just so boring. I mean, everything just hits like very softly against bulky Muns, so it just takes like 5 charge moves to KO some of these Muns. And it's just very, very drawn out. As you saw in the first battle, it literally came down to the timer. So yeah, we're just going to be sitting here watching resisted move after resisted move. And Charizard comes in here, and I think since the Hydreigon has a little bit of an energy lead, I think Ripley should be okay here. And they just let that go. Opponent, like, what are you saving your shields for at this point? This is your last Pokemon. And Hydreigon's like a pretty attack-weighted Pokemon as well. Maybe that was their way of just conceding the match, but they're still throwing charge moves. Yeah, the opponent should definitely have been shielding that, but I believe the Slowbro did have some energy, so this was game over anyway, but I truly have no idea what the opponent was doing there. And in the next battle, we have a Walrein lead, and I really would love to see a Focus Blast land, but no, the opponent switches into a Giratina, and unfortunately, it's going to be a battle of the tanks again. The Giratina is going to be met by the very bulky Umbreon, and as you're seeing, I mean, these moves, I guess, earlier I said resisted move after resisted move. These moves aren't even resisted, but just look at how little damage that does. That actually healed the Umbreon there with that Dragon Claw, and Ripley's just going to be spamming out these foul plays. And Giratina, despite this being super effective damage, can still tank 2 foul plays. And this is going to be a very difficult farm down for Ripley here. So throwing the foul plays here, and just probably going to commit to the farm down here. And yeah, Giratina is on its like 5th Dragon Claw, and it's still just doing absolutely no damage whatsoever. Gets the farm down. What are they going to bring back in here? They bring back in the Wall Rain, and I still don't even think an Earthquake would KO from this range. They just go for an Icicle Spear, and throwing on very nice timing, throwing one move, and then the charge move. And this is just such a boring matchup, guys. I have to see a Focus Blast land in this video, or I might just shut my laptop here before this game ends. And the Wall Rain does actually commit to the farm down here, and gonna come in and throw the Surf on CMP. This is enough for a potential Psychic or a Sludge Bomb, and the opponent calls the bait like a savage, and now gonna have to respect the Earthquake here, and now actually gonna switch into the Hydreigon, and the opponent has an XL Raichu. Oh my gosh. And that is just a hard counter city there for the opponent. Everything they could throw was heavily resisted there, so they just ran a very cool pick by the opponent. That was a 2490 XL Alolan Raichu that got fully hard countered there by a Ultra League Hydreigon. You love to see it. So next battle we saw Shadow Dragonite into the Slowbro. Ripley switches out into the Umbreon, and the opponent has a Registeel in the back, which is not great for the Umbreon. But at the very least, Umbreon can easily live a Focus Blast. And this is definitely not lock-on down range for the Reggie, so Reggie is going to have to expend some more energy, but this is actually a little bit tricky. I'm just realizing now that this team is pretty soft to Steel types, doesn't have a really clear Steel type counter, and hopefully we can see the Focus Blast. Please, please let this go, Registeel. You know this is just a Surf. Let this go. And the Focus Blast does land, and it does KO. That is absolutely massive. And I think now should be able to get this Surf off, and Surf probably will be pressuring a shield. That could have been a Psychic or a Sludge Bomb, and hopefully the opponent doesn't farm down here and they get greedy over farming, and now they're going to have to respect this Surf. And with a 2-0 shield advantage, Hydreigon snipes the Dragonite. What's in back? It's a Jellicent, and this is just going to be game, set, and match, guys. There's absolutely nothing that Jellicent can do against Hydreigon, especially down 2 shield, and could even 2 shield flex on the opponent, respecting a potential Ice Beam. And yeah, could have lived the Shadow Ball there, but wants to just play it safe. Gets the win. Very nicely played. And we are moving into the next battle. Another Cresselia lead. As you guys are seeing, it is just the same garbage in every game. Cresselias, Giratinas, Charizards, Registeels. People are just not very creative anymore, and I totally get it. If you're in the lower elos and you're just grinding, trying to hit your goals, you know, it is just, oh my gosh, catches the Future Sight on the Umbreon. Absolutely savage there, but yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just not that fun. The Open Ultra League has a lot of potential. There's a ton of really cool XL Mons you can run, but unfortunately, most of the time, people are just running the same nonsense in every battle. And unfortunately here, does actually draw out this Grand Bull, so the Hydreigon does not have to see it, but we just have to hope here that this is not like a double charm line, because otherwise, double charm is going to absolutely slap this team. And the Cresselia did show us that it was on Future Sight. They actually shield that as well, and could even potentially think about trying to catch another Future Sight on the Hydreigon here. Excuse me, guys. I am struggling a little bit here. I know the sniffling is not that uncommon for this channel, but yeah, it is just a little rough here today. I'm not sure what I have. I did test negative for COVID. I don't know about you guys. I know there's a lot of subscribers that watch this from various countries, but in the Midwestern United States right now, COVID actually is kind of going back around a little bit, and makes a pivot into the Hydreigon here. Please tell me he got a Future Sight. And it's a Grass Knot, so that was a very risky catch, actually, because a Moonblast definitely would have one-shotted, but it appears that the opponent was on Future Sight and Grass Knot there. Very interesting, but the Slowbro did, in fact, bank a Focus Blast. But yeah, now the Flash Cannon lands, so just can farm down, and maybe even could BM the Cresselia here, the Focus Blast, and no. Recognize the opponent was had a ton of energy there, and just throws the Surf to play it safe, and now gonna BM Focus Blast the Cresselia on low health. You absolutely love to see the BM there, and that is gonna be a GG. The Cresselia there was literally on 1 HP, and he Focus Blasted, so GG to the opponent there. But as I was saying, COVID is going back around a little bit, so hopefully we're not gonna see another really bad COVID situation. I am actually a healthcare worker, and during the initial outbreak of COVID, I was working as a nurse in the ICU, and it was absolutely brutal, guys. One of the probably worst couple years of my entire life, just with how sick the patients were that were coming into my ICU. It was just horrible, horrible. And I know there's plenty of people that got COVID that didn't get that sick, but the people that I saw in the ICU were just so sick. It was absolutely awful. So I definitely do not want to see another COVID pandemic. That is just not cool at all. But in this battle, we saw a Venusaur lead, and Venusaur is actually fully walled here by the Slowbro, so you'd love to see it. And the opponent answers with a Swampert, and Umbreon is just going to be out-bulking Swampert. There's just no way around it for the opponent. Unfortunately, they've already given up both shields here, and this Umbreon is still not in Hydro Cannon range. They're going to have to Earthquake him to KO, and Foul Play gets the Swampert super low, and then makes the snipe with the Hydreigon. Absolute savage. And now with a 2-0 shield advantage, this game is over. There's just nothing the opponent can do here. Could even let this go if he wanted to and just save it all for the Slowbro. But no, gonna respect the Moonblast here and should actually maybe just barely outpace to the Brutal Swing here. And Overfarms perfectly throws on CMP. And this is just game over now because Venusaur, I don't think that this thing is still in Sludge Bomb range. Venusaur's gonna have to take this out and they still have to deal with the Slowbro. And yeah, this is just game over. Opponent should be reaching for that top left, as Jamie Finn would say, but gonna actually take it out with the Hydreigon here. Maybe we'll go for the Flash Cannon BM here, but no. The opponent surrenders, does not let that happen. And are we into the final battle? Maybe 2 left here. Another Venusaur lead, and again, despite the fact that our charge moves are fully walled here, this is a very comfortable matchup for the Venusaur, and Surf is going to be doing not that much damage, but it really doesn't matter because it can just chip away here, and now actually going to safe switch out of there, maybe recognizing that the opponent was staying in, so they maybe weaken back, and sure enough, they have a Tapu Fini, so they were very weak to this Slowbro. This seems to be a very cool core breaker for the meta, guys. There's just a lot of things I've seen so far in this video that are core broken by this Poison Psychic typing. Again, I don't think I've ever seen a Galarian Slowbro in action in the Ultra League. You don't see it too often in the Great League either, but I've never seen one, definitely not a shiny, in the Ultra League. And Tapu Fini is actually kind of struggling a little bit against this Umbreon, guys. This last resort is going to get this thing very low and comes in and catches the Surf. And this is actually not great because now this thing is a lot lower and unfortunately gives up switch, so the opponent can just answer with the Giratina here. But at least did preserve some health on the Umbreon, so can come in, force them to throw, but Giratina with 2 shields is going to be a little bit tricky for this Hydreigon here. And they actually Shadow Sneak the Umbreon there, not sure why they did that, but this is looking a little bit tricky here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it can double shield here and potentially farm all the way down and then have a ton of energy for the Venusaur. I'm thinking that might be the win con. No, actually going to let this go. And it's a Shadow Sneak again, so the opponent maybe is on Shadow Sneak and Ancient Power there. I'm truly not sure, but at this point, oh my gosh, the opponent catches, but I don't think it really matters because the opponent still has 2 shields. So I think at this point, this Venusaur is just going to get fully Dragon Breath down because I don't think he's in Sludge Bomb range yet. They actually go for the Frenzy Plant, but I think this Venusaur is going to get fully Dragon Breath down. I think he can live this Sludge Bomb just barely. And they're on Frenzy Plant. Oh my gosh, opponent, why are you not Sludge Bombing here? And yeah, the opponent, I don't know if they just weren't running Sludge Bomb or if they just have no idea what they're doing, but it takes the win there. Maybe Sludge Bomb actually would have KO'd there because that resisted Frenzy Plant did quite a bit of damage, so maybe that would have been an L if the opponent would have been running Sludge Bomb. But either way, takes the win, and we are into the final battle here, guys. And we have an Umbreon here into this Cresselia. I didn't see what the lead was. It may have been an Umbreon lead and or a Cresselia lead, and he just pivoted into the Umbreon, and the opponent is staying in. That could be the case. I really wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. I've got the sick brain fog going on here, and this is just not that good of a matchup for Cresselia because Umbreon outpaces, and Umbreon easily tanks a Moonblast. They do end up maintaining alignment, it looks like, but the Cresselia here is going to get fully farmed down by this Slowbro. And Slowbro is going to have a ton of energy, and I truly hope that we get to see a Focus Blast land through 2 shields in this final battle. And it's Napoleon. Oh my gosh, do we have a chance to see this? And it one-shots from full health. Thank the Lord. We have seen the Focus Blast land. This game isn't over. They do have a Giratina, but it is on Shadow Claw, and Hydreigon, despite being extremely frail, does actually tank 1. And at this point, I think this is going to be a fast move beatdown for the win here. He has 2 shields, can easily just shield up these claws, farm all the way down with Dragon Breath, and the opponent doesn't throw their move. They know it was over. And that is a GG. That was absolutely incredible. Seeing that Empoleon get fully one-shotted from full health by the Focus Blast. You love to see it. Thank you, as always, to fellow content creator Ripley for sending in the spice. And thank you guys for bearing with me through like 15 minutes of like just absolute pain in my commentary. But either way, I wanted to make sure I got you guys some content out while I am out of town. And thank you for watching. We're just going to end the video here. If you guys want to check me out on Discord, the link will be in the description. Make sure you guys, by the way, also start sending me in the top wins of the month. We are getting towards the end of August here, and at this point, I only have like 4 or 5 submissions. So if you want to be featured in that competition, make sure you get those battles sent in to me. And that being said, if you're new to the channel, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.